I can determine whether a relation with input x and output y is a function. Here's what you need to know. A function is a relation that assigns each member of the domain exactly one member of the range. That's going to be the key for this topic. A function can only have one range value for each domain value. You can't be in two places at once. So you can't go on the x-axis to a certain value and have two separate y's for that one location. You cannot be in two places at once. And just a reminder that the domain is the set of inputs and your range is the set of outputs, x and y. We will do something called the vertical line test to see if our relation is a function. So just like I said before, you can't be in two places at once. So the vertical line test will help you decide if you have more than one y value for the certain x value that you are trying to test. The vertical line should only pass through your graph in one location, no matter where you place it, if your graph represents a function. If you do the vertical line test and it passes through your graph in more than one spot, then that means that you do not have a function. So for example, the relation between a person and their height is a function because no one can have more than one height at one time. So here's an example of not a function. We have George and Maria, and this map shows me that George is 58 inches tall and George is 60 inches tall. Well, that can't be true. He can't be 58 inches tall and 60 inches tall at the same time. So this is an example of not a function. I have a value in the domain that has two separate range values attached to it. That's not a function. Here's another example. This one is a function because I have one value in the domain matching to my one range value. It's okay if two separate domain people go to one range value right here. That's fine. George and Maria can have the same height. That would be okay. One x value matching to the one y value is okay. But over here we had our one x value matching to two separate y values, and that is not okay. Let's consider each of these relations and find which one is a function. Let's start by looking at this table right here. I have my x's and my y's. I have my x values of 1, 1, 2, and 3. Right off the bat, I notice that I have some repeating values in my domain. Now, if this is a function, I need to have the same y value that goes with that x value. So this says 1, 0. Well, I better have 1 and 0 again. I can't be two separate y locations from my 1x location. So I have the point 1, 5. Well, there's where I'm running into an issue. The domain value of 1 is going to two separate range values, 0 and 5. That makes it not a function. Let's take a look at this map. I've got my input 14 going to 9, 5 goes to 6, 3 goes to -2 and 0, and -2 goes to 0. Again, I'm seeing that I have a value in my domain or an input that's going to two different places. You can't be in two places at once. The domain value 3 is going to two separate range values, -2 and 0. That makes this not a function. And finally, let's take a look at our graph. If we were to place a straight up and down line, a vertical line on our graph, that's going to show us what's happening at certain x values. So right here where I'm tracing, I'm just testing this x value right here of -2. And I'm seeing that I'm only passing through my graph in one location. I am okay. I'm passing the vertical line test by only intersecting my graph at one spot. That shows me that every domain value, x, has only one range value, y. The vertical line, anywhere you put it, so you could try it anywhere along this graph that you'd like to, put a straight up and down line, you're only ever going to intersect this graph once at any x value. This is a function. Go ahead and pause and try this one. Consider each of these relations. Which one is not a function? Let's take a look at the table first. We have the x values of 1, 2, 3, and 4. None of my x's or my domains repeat. So that's pretty much going to tip me off that I'm okay on this. Each domain value has only one range value, so you're good to go. That one is a function. Take a look at the second one, the map. Your input 12 goes to 11, -1 goes to 5, 7 goes to 5, and 9 goes to -6. Again, you do not have any of your inputs that are repeating, and they're only going to one location, so this is a function. If you were to look at the third one and draw a straight up and down line, I could put a straight up and down line right here, a vertical line at -5, and I'm going to be hitting my graph in 2 locations. I could test over here at +1, and I'm hitting my graph in 2 different locations still. That makes this not a function. If you want more on this topic, be sure to check out the Learning Target spreadsheet for additional resources, videos, and practice.